What a day, what a day. You know, the last video, you're like, you guys, you're so excited when you lose money. I love it. Well, I lost again. I don't know. I think you guys, you'll see the bigger picture. We had a big talk about this on stream. I saw, you know, honestly, the stream was crazy, you guys. We hit our record. I got very sentimental at the end. I said I loved you and all that stuff. We hit like 600 people. It was like, come on, man. That was like some Bloomberg. We did more than Bloomberg during the event. So you guys, I'm excited. If you're new, you guys were there you probably seeing this. You were there today. Tomorrow, 6 a.m., we're going to be on there. So get ready. We have our different sections of stuff and how to go about it. But be cautious, okay, you guys? Be smart with your money. I don't want people to glorify losses because I have a plan with this. And I was talking. So go watch. I think this stream was very, very informative. Go back through that. But yeah, drop me a like, show me some love. You guys see it does actually make a difference. So you guys do your part with it. But we have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about what's going on with the market, some of the news, and, you know, what did we recap what we saw. And right now the market's still open. I'm trying to pull it up for you guys. Man, you guys are going to be disappointed in me because I got my desk already messy again. Man, come on. So the market's still open right now. It's still going up. It was a weird day. You know, this is how the SPX looks. Here's the SPY on this screen. And like I talked about a lot during the day, you're seeing we held prices. Some people were kind of confused, even though it gapped down, kind of went back up. It's been a calm week, and I shared some of my thoughts of what, you know, you saw my other videos, what I'm expecting. Tomorrow is still Friday. It's still a toss-up. We're going to see what happens, but I think if they get it towards the weekend, then you got China closing January 15th. You also have an important vote coming from the UK on the 15th, and that's something I said in the stream that we need to start bringing back into the picture because you're seeing the market kind of have this weird rally. Not weird. I thought it would be bigger, and I talked about it, but in retrospect, it's been melting up. We can't get fooled that this move is actually surprisingly pretty big and had a pretty decent effect. So there's that. We're going to watch oil and all that, but a lot happened today. You know, a lot actually happened in terms of big events that people were waiting for, and it started, you know, here is really the Fed. That was the biggest thing, you know, when I want to show you guys. We watched it and went over it, and things were said. So the main thing that happened here with the Fed, everybody was waiting for it. If you've been watching the videos, you know, it looks a little bit more dramatic on this screen. Maybe we'll keep it up there so you guys can see kind of, you know, tick for tick. But what occurred, it was now, and it was interesting. There was like a dinner conference where Fed Powell was going out there having his speech. He got interviewed while people were eating dinner, and he got asked a bunch of questions. So throughout all of it, there was a few main highlights. You know, right off the bat, they were joking about rates and the markets and stuff, and he said they're patient, and the market very, very dovish, right? That came off good. And then the other thing, though, he said is that he started to blame China, but we're going to talk about that when it came late. I think it came later, but it went up. He said patience. The market reacted to that, and we even talked about it on stream that whereas even though the news pushed the market and you could follow and see what happened, in this case this was a dribble. It was very, very small, whereas other types of events could move the market more when it comes to Powell, like a live meeting did and like we saw in the past. But then he mentioned quantitative tightening and the balance sheet. So he said the Fed balance sheet is still high and he thinks it could go down. Although he said he's patient with hiking rates, he said the balance sheet. And so that shows something that I'm interpreting this as the market doesn't like the rate hikes, obviously, but that sell-off there does show the market is still not really down with the reduction of the balance sheet, which needs to happen. But then that leads into something else because he discussed the government shutdown. He talked about it and the market didn't go lower from there. But apparently Jay Powell is a very unique person. Before he got into the Fed chair, I think you guys, this is a cool little fun fact you should listen to. I need to go look up it. I'm going to make a video on this because he has me fascinated with this, right? When I heard this from the conference. At the conference, they talked about, the interviewer said this, that Jay Powell was one of few Republicans who supported a Democratic plan to raise the debt ceiling, and he talked, and that it went viral in Congress, and they had him speak and do all that before he became the Fed chair. And his point was that they have to do it, otherwise it brings up very, very negative implications for a lot of things with just the budget, the economy, and all that. And he says it pretty much needs to happen. So he said that the government shutdown and how the Fed, he's viewing it, especially, you know, that's the thing. Why this is so important, the whole conference, you got to see how Powell felt, but then you see how it moved the markets, but then we also get to see kind of, okay, if this is happening, what will be the attitude in the future? So we could kind of get an idea into Powell's head, where he says if the government shutdown does take a long time, they're going to respond appropriately. And who knows, I have a theory. Maybe you guys could timestamp this for me. It's a crazy theory. I don't know. You guys are supporting the crazy theories, even when I'm wrong. So I'd love it. I'll just keep shooting them out. As long as that's what I said. I'm getting ideas. I'm looking at stuff. I don't care if it's right. It's not, you guys act like I'm betting my whole account on every single one of these. I'm an economist, a researcher, if anything. I'm just going crazy looking for stuff. I like to experiment with this, but how we could put this into context with, okay, I forgot what I was saying. Just trying to fucking justify it to you guys. Fuck. Yes, my crazy theory. It's that a lot of people have talked about that even now, Bullard. So even today, it's funny, it's crazy, it relates to some of the news. Even another person on the Fed talked today, Bullard, he's usually a hawk, and he said that he thinks the Fed over-tightened, actually. And he says that he thinks the Fed is, and that's too much. And he talked about policy mistakes, but my theory is that some people may even look at this and say, well, only once it's a recession do they cut rates. But what if there is another fact? What if the government shutdown is a reason for them to cut rates? That could be a total black swan event, in the sense that a lot of people are affecting we're going to say, oh, it's the economy, this or that. But if the government shutdown has an effect on the budget and the balance sheet, and even related to the default, what if we see in the event that they come in there and they cut rates and they try to connect it to the government shutdown as opposed to the economy? But that would be interesting. I'd watch the yield curve, my friends. Watch the yield curve. But so that happened. You saw everything move. He talked about, pretty much though. He says as long as the government shutdown continues, it'll be a problem. And that is the thing. I talked about it on stream. The fact is, I think we're 1 or 2 days away from the record long government shutdown ever. And we've never experienced anything past that in American history. We don't know what's going to happen. So there's unfounded effects. I believe some people posted it cost a couple million or billion, but it's expensive. And it's going to have an effect on the balance sheet. It could have that effect with the downgrade on U.S. debt. Fitch put us on watch for, potential. I don't think it's negative outlook watch, but you get it. What else did he say? He said I think that was it, pretty much. And then right after that, he was talking. Trump canceled his speech to go to Davos. And now Trump came on twice today. One, he made an announcement he's not going to Davos. And this is a conference. Right now, it's in Switzerland. They have like this World Economic Forum. And I'm pretty sure Davos is like a counter event for people and capitalists and shit like that. But he was supposed to meet the economic vice president, or the vice economic chief of China. And that's not going down anymore. And there's some other people from Russia. But that's not happening. So he canceled that, which it's interesting. And even then it cut to his, it's funny because he's saying it's all related to the government shutdown, because he was in Texas, round a table meeting, and they were talking border security. And they even said that how he's been Christmas, New Year's, he's been staying in DC, hasn't been leaving his family. Apparently Trump is going psycho working on this border security. So that's why he's not even going to Davos. So I think that has economic effects, I think, or implications between the relationships and what could happen. But that was one. Another thing that happened today was jobless claims. So they were down than expected. So pretty much that's good news. That means less people filed unemployment or for any of those benefits. But again, too, the issue with the Fed Reserve and how the markets have been seeing rates and pricing them in, people are worried that good news is bad news. And why would this happen? Is that good that jobless, the amount of people getting unemployment went down? Yes. But it means the economy's good. If the economy's good, the Fed's going to want to raise rates, and then that could hurt tightening, credit crunch, all that stuff. But if it was bad, in the market, that's the thing we've seen. We talked about it on stream. There's the oil's currency, all that. But there's so much going on where things are just bouncing back and forth. So you got to kind of good news and bad news. I think on the appropriate time scale, you will be able to see it play out. Man, I wish I had more drink in there. I'm thirsty. But there was that. Trump was in Texas. He did two things, man. He was all over the place. He's campaigning. But even then, all of this, I think all of that, Trump canceling Davos, the Trump going into Texas, doing all this stuff, and even what Jay Powell said, I think we should prepare for a long shutdown. If they don't give him the wall, I think he's just trying to send the message that this is going to drag on. So we're going to see how the other side, Democrats, whatever, how they react and go about all that. And lastly, I think the last big event was related to companies. It was Macy, so that's retail. Retail's been doing awful. And it jumped, and I was talking to Conroy about this. He said it jumped in 17 off of nothing, and it was a pretty big gimme. But now Macy's cut guidance. So Delta cut guidance, Apple cut guidance, Skyworks cut guidance, and now Samsung cuts guidance, and now you have Macy. So you're getting the different sectors. I was talking on streams which ones I want to look for. Is market? Yeah, market's still open. I'm looking at my high low ticker. Seeing Apple go up, we got the SPY. I don't know if if I zoom in, will you be able to see it? But the SPY's going up there. It's the one, yeah, it's right there. It's just hanging out there though. So 259, just breaking 259. So we'll see how that closes. I'm sure you guys, I'll probably get this video out there probably by the time you guys are ready. You guys get to see the timing of it. Pretty cool, right? But yeah, Macy's, the effect of that, you're seeing it, and it's all bringing me back to earnings. That's what I told you guys. All look for earnings and get prepared, because Macy's still has time before they report. And some companies, it's not as much now. The next play, people are like, well, what happens if they cut? How is that going to play in the next earnings? Will they do good or bad? I think the real question is now, what is the guidance after this? We want to see if they cut guidance like Apple. One, we want to see how they report, and investors are going to judge it on that. But then two, they want to see the next set of guidance. That is it going to be now even lower and grimmer? Was it a fluke? Similar? How are they going to do that? So that's what I'm watching for. But like I said with you guys, small account, large accounts, you need to get into earnings mode, especially with some of these options. The volatility's dying. The VIXs came down. It's still there, but you're seeing the stocks aren't moving as much. So you guys put your money to good work. Earnings is out there, and guess what? If you're watching this channel, you're lucky enough to be thinking about it, where a lot of other people may not be thinking about earnings right now. Get ahead of the game, get on premium, come to the chat, come to the stream, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I love you all. Stay in school. Peace.